There is no doubt that our kids are the most precious cargo we can have in our vehicles. They are far more valuable than the laptop on the back seat or the bike on the roof racks. Therefore, we all need to do everything we can to make sure they are as safe as possible while we're driving. Now, this might sound a bit obvious, but there are far too many parents and grandparents around Tasmania that make mistakes with child restraints that could have potentially disastrous consequences.
Let's not beat around the bush. In the event of an accident, some simple and apparently minor errors could result in serious injury and worse. In fact, nearly 40 children under the age of 7 are injured or killed as passengers in vehicles on Tasmanian roads each year. However, on a brighter note, the good news is that there are a few things that you can do to reduce this risk significantly. Firstly, here at the RACT, we strongly recommend that you do not use a child restraint unless you know its history. Second-hand restraints may have been involved in an accident or possess worn or dysfunctional componentry.
Of course you can use family hand-me-downs, but buying a restraint from a local school fair or online auction site is a risky business. This is why we strongly advise against buying or selling second-hand seats. Secondly, did you know that child restraints have a use-by date?
Industry standards tell us that once the seat is 10 years past its date of manufacture, it is no longer suitable for use. All restraints that adhere to Australian and New Zealand standards have their date of manufacture stamped on the seat. If it is more than 10 years old, it is no longer suitable for use in your car or anyone else's. Remember, children are your most precious cargo.
Now that you have an appropriate restraint, let's have a look how to fit them. Today we've asked a growing family to show us how they do it. Rodney and Rita use a booster seat for their daughter Ava. These booster seats are normally used for children between the ages of 4 and 8 years old. Morning guys, how are you going?
Morning.
Hello Ava, good, how are you guys going?
Good.
Hello Ava.
Good.
So how old are the kids guys?
Ava is 4 and we have Isabella who's 8 months.
And they keep you busy?
They keep me busy.
Someone has to go to work to keep up your fashionable wardrobe.
Hey, I noticed there's a couple of restraints in the car. Who normally fits them? Who puts the kids in the car?
That would be me.
It's actually me.
And where did you get the booster seat from?
I got the booster from my sister about 6 months ago when Ava turned 4 because I think that's the legal age for her to move into a booster.
Well, sounds like you know all about it. Let's see how you go putting it in the car.
Rita places the booster seat on the footpath side of the vehicle, which generally is a safer option as it avoids the opportunity for your little person to open the door into traffic. It also reduces the risk for you as you're buckling or unbuckling, so it's better to do this as far from the traffic as possible. You will notice that Rita is placing the restraint directly next to another one. This is perfectly fine and entirely unavoidable for many families. As this is a booster seat, we do not need to follow a seatbelt path until Ava is in the restraint. Therefore, Rita can attach the top tether immediately, which she does now, and attaches it to the correct anchor point on the ceiling. Rita tightens the top tether without making it too tight, allowing for a bit of give, and ensuring the child restraint is not lifted off the car seat. Ava now climbs into the car seat. Rita brings the seat belt down through the correct path as indicated by the directions on the seat. This is often a little different for booster seats, which you might notice. Rita now buckles the seatbelt, ensuring that it is all under the armrest. Rita checks the tightness of the belt, rechecks the belt path and decides that Ava is good to go. However, we wouldn't entirely agree with Rita. In fact, we'd very nearly disagree. While Ava is 4 years old and legally able to travel in a booster seat, this seat is almost too big for her. Ava's shoulders only just meet the minimum height line for this seat. As she has been using the restraint for 6 months, it is quite likely that this restraint has been far too big for her. This is a significant risk in the event of an accident. If your child's shoulders are below the minimum height or above the maximum height markers, the restraint is not safe for them to use. In this case, for the last 6 months, Ava should have been travelling in a forward-facing restraint with an inbuilt harness until her shoulders were at least the height of the line. Aside from this, Rita didn't do a bad job. As you can see, Simple and apparently minor mistakes can lead to quite dangerous situations. Now, a couple of final messages. Some new restraints entering the market use an ISOFIX attachment. The restraints themselves essentially are the same, however the connection with the car is a little different. You may have little hooks or brackets hidden in the join of your back seat, which these adapters click into. When these are fixed, it removes the need for the seatbelt to thread through the seat. This is a completely safe method of instalment, and we expect to see a lot more of these restraints available in the future. If you are at all concerned about how your restraints are fitted, feel free to give us a call.
Please remember that we strongly encourage you to err on the side of caution when buying a second-hand restraint, as there are too many unsafe examples out there. By all means, use a restraint that has been handed down by a family or friend, providing it is no more than 10 years old.
Make sure you know the history of the seat before entrusting it to keep your most precious cargo safe. Child restraint advice and fittings are available at the RACT branches in Hobart and Launceston. Also, wherever you are around the state, we are only a phone call away to answer any of your questions, so please don't hesitate to call 132722 to talk to our trained professionals. You may also see us at community events with the RACT Mobile Service Centre, which we use to provide child restraint education throughout the state.
We hope you've learned a few things about keeping our most precious cargo safe. It's never our intention to scare motorists, but here at the RACT we think a few helpful hints may make a big difference. Thank you for watching and safe driving.